Alrighty everyone, welcome back. Now, ever since the Charlie Kirk memorial took place, we know that a lot of celebrities have come forward either supporting Charlie Kirk and his friends and family, or on the other end of the spectrum, unfortunately, this is the reality of the situation, is that you have a lot of celebrities right now saying downright lies, attacking, and even just outright mocking Charlie Kirk, his friends, his family, his loved ones, and even his supporters out there. We have people out there like Robert De Niro, for example, in this case, really going off the rails after the Charlie Kirk memorial actually was viewed by tons of people around the entire world, not just catered to the United States. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Robert De Niro is that we all know that he will turn any situation into a political rant. He will politicize anything that he can grab his hands onto, if it involves Trump or his supporters, anything around those lines. And we are witnessing this happening every single day by different celebrities out there. It's really not a shocker here, and that's exactly why I think Jimmy Kimmel had to come back, because Disney caved so hard from all of the celebrities that are actually against Jimmy Kimmel getting booted off the air. They boycotted Disney. Disney was losing so much money to the point that it was putting them in a pure panic mode, and they had to bring him back tonight. So for those of you that do not know, Jimmy Kimmel, unfortunately, yes, is coming back on the air tonight. However, Sinclair is not going to air his show, so that's one thing to point out. However, interestingly enough, Robert De Niro, yet again, made a fool of himself by saying some of the worst things out there about the Charlie Kirk memorial. Trump supporters, Kirk supporters, you name it, let's get into this. Now, ever since the memorial took place for Charlie Kirk, where plenty of his family, friends, and loved ones joined, even his supporters, unfortunately, however, many celebrities have stepped forward to criticize the entire memorial by politicizing it, one of which includes Robert De Niro, who recently went off the rails about the memorial. De Niro delivered the following: Ask me this, what country are we living in right now? What the hell country are we living in right now? Is this a way to honor a man who was assassinated, a man who was killed in broad daylight by turning his memorial into a Trump political rally? What kind of funeral is this? Let me tell you this is all Trump's doing. This is the entire Trump's administration's plan by turning this entire event into a full-on political rally. The MAGA gang just won't give it up with vanity, will they? When they should really be focusing on the issues that we face in our country every single day. And where I am now, I don't even recognize my country anymore. Now, look at what happened to Charlie. Should have never happened. Let me just say that, okay? But his memorial was completely mishandled by the MAGA gang and abused by Trump's minions, who really don't care about the sensitive issues that we are dealing with today. This is exactly why we have an administration that is going to be holding a UFC match on the White House lawn next year. How pathetic can you get? Tell me, how more pathetic can you get? Is this what this administration is all about, fun and games right now? Where MAGA Republicans see a controversial issue to use as a way to shoehorn a political rally on live television for the public to see when he already won the election? When will it stop is my question. I think what's best right now is for many of those on the left and center to consider leaving what was once a beautiful and well-handled country under President Joe Biden. We weren't dealing with any of this nonsense back just 9 months ago. Our freedom of speech has been stripped away from us, whether it's for those in the film industry, or those on late-night television, or your average working American citizen. This was made very clear during this Charlie Kirk memorial. That was really just a spotlight for the Don. Trump and Kirk supporters really have no clue what they are talking about and taking part in now, do they? Are they that clueless? Are they that lost? That's my question, because the answer is yes. It's time that we raise awareness of this president that continues to act like a dictator. Now guys, let me just say one thing about Robert De Niro. Now, we've heard this very similar thing from Mark Hamill, who claims that this was basically just a political rally. And we know one thing about this, is that we have a lot of celebrities coming forward. We have even Angelina Jolie, of all people. We haven't heard from her in a very long time, saying that she doesn't recognize her country anymore, and saying all these, different things out there. But we know one thing about this for sure, is that this whole situation right now that took place on September 10th of what happened to Charlie Kirk when he was assassinated, there is no doubt about it, and I'm sure that all of you will agree with me, it's showing everyone's true colors. you know, the way that they're acting, their behavior on social media, or whatever it may be, even if it's on live television, anywhere, you're seeing people's actual true colors take place right now. And I think that this is really just like a 2.0 version of what happened both before and after the Trump election, when he won. And when you saw the reactions coming out of that, when a lot of these celebrities were calling American citizens uneducated and having no knowledge about anything in their life, all these wacky things, even George Clooney said stuff like that. However, he continues, "Just look at the format, people. You cannot deny it was a political rally frame by frame when this thing aired on live television. This is a disgrace, a complete disgrace to America." Again, there goes Robert De Niro going on that constant trope about how this was a political rally. I guess they think that because it was held in an arena, but one thing about Robert De Niro is that he is delusional. We know that he's so out of touch with reality at this point that he actually believes that he still has the majority of his own fans, and he's left wondering why the Ultima Nights bombed at the box office. Well, that's because a lot of people not only boycotted the film, but there were also a lot of people that found no interest at all to even see a Robert De Niro movie anymore, because let's face it, he's up there in age. Playing the same exact type of mobster role over and over again has grown tiresome, and yes, he is going to be playing in Meet the Fockers 4. For 2026. It's going to be called Focker in Law. And this is not a joke, this is an actual movie that's actually under production right now. What's interesting though is that he goes on to conclude, this is not how it should have been handled. Not this way at all. And I fear there is no turning back for us because Trump and his clueless supporters have forever damaged our once great country. I don't understand Robert De Niro, I don't understand Mark Hamill, why they have the gall to say such terrible things at such a short moment in time after Charlie Kirk's passing. Look, it hasn't even technically been, 3.5 weeks yet, give or take. This whole thing that happened on September 10th, it really did create an entire cultural shift in the United States. There is no question about that, because you're seeing a lot of people say terrible things, but you're also seeing a lot of people, thankfully, saying very grateful, honest, well-respected things out there about Charlie, his family, and friends. Look, a man just died. And I think that a lot of people just don't really care, and you're seeing a lot of that from people like Robert De Niro, Mark Hamill, Tom Hanks, even Angelina Jolie saying things about the country and really just not focusing on the actual problem that took place. They're turning everything into a politicized opportunity, and that's basically what's happening right now. And everyone sees through it, by the way. Even a lot of people that are both on the left or at the center or even on the right, everyone is beginning to see through a lot of these actors' faces and the masks that they put on for so many years. And now that mask is beginning to come off now, and we're really seeing how they truly are. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about De Niro, about all these other actors coming out of the woodwork saying terrible things like that. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.